Hi, how are you? I've spoken to quite a few students in the last couple of days about the assessment that's due, so the Mary Health assessment. I thought I might just, I know it's due Friday, but I thought I might just sort of really stress two or three things that have really come out of the conversations that I've had with lots of students. So I think the important thing is that this exercise is really designed as really practical. So I could have easily given you a essay to describe the theory of self-management or something like that, but I wanted to give you something really realistic. So if you think about you may be at some point in your career asked to speak to a board, or another group of people or an organisation. So that's what's really at the centre of this assessment. So if you think about that, I could have said to you, just give a presentation, but what I did was give you a specific reference to the Sverrisson and Duckett report. Now, it's quite a big report, so what you have to think about in doing this presentation is that you can't take all of the text out of that report and actually cram that into a 20-minute presentation. So you have to decide what are the really key points. But it's not really only what the key points are out of that report, because what we're getting you to do is to focus on the audience. So when I refer to the audience, I'm talking about the board of Mary Health. Now, if you've had a look at that board, and when I did a previous short video for you, I talked about finding out who they are, really thinking about what the function of a board is. So for me, a board has three major components. So they're responsible for the clinical governance that occurs in the organisation, which is around quality and safety. They're concerned with the financial stability of the organisation. So even though most places like Community Health are not for profit, they need to actually still run a business and make money. They pour it back into services in the community, etc. But you can't run it at a loss. And the third sort of major area, I guess, is responding to community need. So if you think about this presentation, what we're looking for is not just a summary of the Sverrisson and Duckett report, but really good students will be able to take that information and think about that in the context of an organisation such as Mary Health, in the context of speaking to a board, and in the context of that particular community. So that's what you're really trying to do with this assessment. Now, one of the things that I've been talking with a number of students about today is not making this overcomplicated. Remember, it's a 20-minute presentation. Now, what I wanted you to think about is that when you do present, it shouldn't be completely didactic. It's not a 20-minute lecture, because a board won't want to sit and listen to you lecture at them for 20 minutes. So when I've asked you to produce speaking notes, it's fine. You don't have to have all of the answers. So I was speaking to a student a couple of minutes ago on the phone, and he was taking a really good angle. He was talking about diabetes. And as I said to him, he was talking about the use of technology. He doesn't need to, in his presentation or his speaking notes, have all of the answers for Mary Health. He may want to set up those speaking notes with time allocations and indicate in the speaking notes that he would spend 5 minutes talking with the Mary Health directors, and getting them to have a discussion themselves about the potential for technology in community health, for example. So I think the point I'm trying to make is that your speaking notes don't need to cover every bit of the content, and you don't need to answer every question that a board might have. It's fine for you to indicate in your speaking notes that you'll pose a question. So if you looked at my example slide and the example speaking notes that I put together, you'll see that on that slide I actually posed the question, or a couple of questions. How should Mary Health respond? And also my presentation was really about asthma care planning and practice incentive payments. So it was really getting the board, a question to the board about, how many people in our practice might have a full cycle of care and a recall and reminder system. Now, of course, you don't need to know the answer, because in your presentation, it's just a question you're posing to the board, and the board might come back and say, we don't know. And so that might be something that comes out of that presentation. I hope that's clear, but what I'm really saying to you is that you don't have to have every answer. Think about allowing time for the board to ask questions, illustrate that within your presentation, that you've thought about not only the information that's being provided, but how it's delivered, and you'll do really well in this assessment. Okay, I'm just going to check. I think that's all I've got that I really wanted to talk to you about. So take care, and we're really excited. I can't wait to get your assignments. I hope you're all okay. Bye.